Shouts out to ArtBae. Shouts out to ArtBae. The other girls don't understand the things I do. They don't understand the dreams I pursue.
My full name is Marlene Brown, but people call me Marla. So I was born in the Bronx, two immigrant parents. My mother's from Germany, father from Jamaica. My mom wanted to get out of the Bronx in the late 80s. She was terrified. So we moved to Norwalk, Connecticut. And I lived a very suburban life. I mean, it was a great childhood. I can't complain about anything. My parents supported me in everything I did, from tap dance, ballet, to track and field, which is what I did pretty much my whole life into college, and then also my art, from having an art studio in our house in the basement and just filling it with all the tools that I needed to stay creative. And my mom was the creative side of me, and my father was the more athletic side of me. But they always, no matter what I did, never questioned anything I did, which really helped me to where I am now, staying creative from the very beginning. So yeah, I'm in art school. One of my favorite classes was figure drawing class. And you know, it was one of those classes where someone would come in, they'd be naked. Sometimes it'd be like a friend that I know. She's like, I just need some extra cash, and I'm like, but I always the human body is just the most fascinating thing to me. It's so beautiful, and I think the beauty in it mainly is how different we are, and then also what each person finds beautiful is so different, and what social standards finds beautiful versus what uniquely is beautiful. So I started to do these studies and actually just drawing different types of lips, drawing different types of butts, drawing different types of boobs, and then just seeing how they all sort of mix together. And I really liked those three because, you know, those are the three parts of a female body that really stand out, and you know, maybe someone might argue with me, but it's that, you know, part of a woman that like really makes them very feminine and female. So I wanted to continue that, and I did illustrations, and then from that I started doing almost this pattern. So I started creating a pattern with all these different shapes of the body and then putting them together. And I stuck with, and when I say simple, like I just stuck with black and white and simple drawings. And it's been so interesting because I've now noticed on Instagram other artists that focus on that too. And I almost feel like I'm in this little like grouping of other artists that illustrate, and not even that, now I'm starting to find other artists that illustrate, you know, just nude art. And I find it, you know, obviously you can go the very like risque and a little in your face, but I really love when someone can do it in such a relatable way that's not over-sexualized, where it's just, you know, either fun or funny. Like I like having it being more like a fun, light kind of thing, where you don't feel too like, oh my God, I'm looking at like naked things, where it's a lot easier to digest. And I think I've been kind of in the thoughts of, because now I've sort of branded it, and I have people saying like, you should trademark it. Like someone could easily just like take that name and like do something with it. And I was like, fair, totally. But then that's when you really start looking into the business thing, when you start to really brand it, where you lock down a logo, and then like, how do you sell this? So that's actually where I am right now of doing that. And I've even thought, because I think at the heart of it is, again, just loving so many different body types and knowing all the different body types, and the feedback that I get of people like, oh, that's my favorite type of like butt, or like, oh, that drawing is my favorite like shape of a boob, and everyone's different. Someone will like point out one of my illustrations and they think that one is the most beautiful, where someone else says something totally different. So and at the heart of it, I think, is those just empowerment, like body empowerment and female empowerment. And I think we're living in such an age of, like, you know, especially the climate that we're in, of just like your body sensitivity and just like owning your body, and like women being proud of themselves and like their shape, whatever social standard tells us. People are like, oh, you should make t-shirts. And it's like, everyone makes t-shirts. Like, it's easy. For me, like, I kind of was thinking this holistically of making it more functional art. So it's art, but like functional art is so much like cooler, because, you know, not just like throwing it on a wall. Like the thought of someone, because I started making initially trays, because they're almost like a canvas. They're almost like a frame, the trays. And then ashtrays, bowls. I just love the fact that someone is using just this inanimate object in the house, you know, whether it's like picking up the dishes or just having that canvas on it. That idea just made me so happy to know, and it's just the whole functional art really kind of pushed me. I think it's all personal also. I mean, it is, for me, like, my art is my therapy and it's my passion. So it started as like a therapy and it started as an outlet. So I think it all just depends on what that particular person wants to get out of it. Is it just they want to put beautiful things out in the world and just share it with people? Or do you want to actually take it a step further and like have that art be in other people's world a little bit more? And I think that's when, with me, that's why the marketing and branding side came along with it, because I am so in that, you know, I work with larger brands. Can't necessarily probably say it, but like I work with some of the leading like personal care products. I've worked for Diageo before, so all alcohol brands. I've worked for Nestle Waters before. So all these major, and at the end of the day, yes, there are these major brands, but people follow them because of like loyalty, and they believe in, you know, what some brands say. And I think in the beginning, you have to have people that really believe in what you're doing, and not that you have to create a manifesto for yourself for the product that you're creating, but it has to say something, you know? Like, even though it says something to you, it's nice that, and other people might latch onto that, it should be deep enough that, like, you could share it with everyone and people will, you know, it'll turn into more of a commerce kind of thing. The pieces that I've been doing, there's a story there, but I wanted to continue a story. So what I'm doing right now is so preliminary, and I have so many ideas to push it even more. And I guess that's with marketing, everything needs to have legs. So you have something, you have a product, and that story needs to have legs, whether it's, you know, a major campaign, or maybe you partner with a nonprofit. Maybe you have that product and it's able to help out, you know, I don't know, the forests in the country that it's using the ingredients from. So, and those legs need to be not just on in store, but you know, in social media, whether it's online, on a website. So I think things just need to have legs to be able to reach on different platforms, to different people, and even in different industries as well. I think everything is so cross merchandising, as you know. It's just start slow and small. I'm actually working with a friend right now, and he's building his own consulting company, but he doesn't know what's the visual that he wants to do with it. He wants to consult so many people. I think it's just in the beginning focusing on just one thing, not trying to do too much at once. Having a very clear and concise thing that you're trying to communicate. I think in this day and age, it's that, like, we have a 5-second rule. So for me, I bring it back to retail, because, you know, you walk down an aisle, you have so much overstimulation. You see so many things. The market is so saturated, and it's not just for brands. It could be for art too. I mean, you go on Etsy, and I mean, you type in I want like a mug with a Santa Claus on it, and you get so many. So what is that unique thing? What's that niche? What's that little thing that you could kind of peek your head above all the others that will let you stand out, and just staying true to that, and making sure not just what you say is consistent, what people see is consistent. Like consistency is really, really important. So I think like the sort of that business problem is people having like such a short attention span, and how do you get that person's attention and hold on to it and make them loyal to what you're doing and make you believe in what you're doing. So yeah, which is actually something I recently told a friend, because he was like, well, I want to consult, and I want to consult in sports and this and this and that. And I'm like, wait a minute, no, just like pick your top 2 things right now and just like lead with that, because you can get really lost in it.
Shouts out to ArtBae. Shouts out to ArtBae. The other girls don't understand the things I do. They don't understand the dreams I pursue. You want to throw out like where to contact you, or like IG?
Oh yeah, I mean I have it's funny, I bought Lips Butts Boobs website, which I'm building right now. It's along construction. Instagram, Lips Butts Boobs, and then hopefully partnering with some nonprofits in the future, so just look out for that. Yeah.